I started this path without applause, without people who believed in advance, without guarantees that effort would turn into results. One day I realized I could no longer live peacefully knowing I hadn't tried. It wasn't inspiration, it was pressure. Like life was slowly closing in, tightening its grip around me. Each year felt heavier than the last, and staying where I was felt more frightening than stepping into uncertainty. From the outside, everything looked fine. A normal routine, normal conversations, normal expectations. I went to work, answered messages, smiled when required. But inside I felt disconnected from my own life, as if I was watching myself from a distance, playing a role written by someone else. I knew how to look stable and reasonable, and yet I felt empty. The thought that scared me most wasn't failure. It was time, years passing quietly, days blending together. One day waking up and realizing the chance was gone, that fear pushed me forward more than any dream of success ever could. I didn't want greatness. I wanted honesty with myself. In the beginning I worked with fury, the kind of intensity that feels productive but slowly consumes you. I believed that if I worked harder than everyone else, the world would eventually notice. I woke up early, slept late, skipped rest, delayed relationships. I told myself this was temporary, a necessary sacrifice. I wore exhaustion like a badge of honor. Being tired meant I was serious. Rest felt suspicious. Every day I whispered the same promise. Just a little more and everything will change. One more push, one more night without sleep. I didn't notice how my life slowly shrank to nothing but effort. At first, failure didn't bother me. I told myself it was part of the process. Everyone fails before they succeed, that's what all the stories say. But failure kept coming, day after day, week after week. The numbers didn't grow. Emails went unanswered. Opportunities collapsed at the last moment. Slowly, doubt shifted. I stopped questioning strategies and started questioning myself. Was I smart enough? Disciplined enough? Built for this at all? Late at night, scrolling through my phone, I replayed conversations and decisions, wondering where I had gone wrong. I told no one. When people asked how things were going, I said good. I learned how to sound confident without feeling it. I learned how to hide uncertainty behind productivity. Admitting doubt felt dangerous, like saying it out loud would make failure permanent. Burnout arrived quietly, no breakdown, no dramatic collapse, just emptiness. I kept working, but there was no emotion left behind it. No anger, no excitement, no hope. I stared at the screen for hours, opening tabs, closing them, pretending to move forward. Some days I could spend hours preparing without actually doing anything, reading the same sentence 5 times, watching motivational videos without feeling motivated. The goal that once felt alive became distant and abstract, like a memory from someone else's life. Fear of poverty became a constant background noise. Not just fear of having no money, fear of having no options. Fear of dependence. Fear of explaining one day why it didn't work. Fear of watching my dreams slowly turn into an uncomfortable joke. I imagined conversations that never happened, explanations I never wanted to give. It just didn't work out. It wasn't the right time. I tried. These imagined words felt heavier than actual failure. People gave advice. Be realistic. Find stability. Think long term. They spoke with care. They meant well. But to me, those words sounded like a verdict. Like permission to quit before reaching the end. Then came another rejection. Short, cold, without explanation. I closed the message and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just tiredness. Sitting alone in silence, I thought calmly, maybe it's time to stop. That calm scared me more than panic ever could. Not the rejection, the absence of emotion. It's when I understood something important. I wasn't afraid of poverty. I was afraid of living my entire life without knowing who I could have become. This realization didn't inspire me. It didn't energize me. It didn't feel powerful. It was simply true. I accepted that I was tired, that I doubted myself, that some days I wanted to disappear from my own expectations. In that acceptance, something loosened inside me. I stopped pretending to be strong, at least to myself. I allowed myself to be human, imperfect, slow, uncertain, not a hero, just someone who keeps showing up. I didn't wait for signs. I didn't look for guarantees. I continued without promises. Not because I believed in success, but because quitting felt like betrayal. Betrayal of the version of me who once dared to start. I am still not rich. I still don't have a success story people like to quote. There is only the path, the fatigue, and stubbornness. Some days feel pointless. Doubt still returns, uninvited. But I no longer envy people who succeeded. When I look at them, I don't feel bitterness. I feel curiosity. Their stories remind me that progress is rarely linear and almost never visible while it's happening. Deep inside, there is hope, quiet, persistent. Hope that one day it will work out, that I will succeed, that I will earn my million not by luck, but by endurance, patience, and refusal to quit. I don't know when it will happen, or how, or what form success will take, but I know this: I didn't give up. And as long as I keep moving, possibility exists. There are days when I do almost nothing, days when fear wins, days when doubt speaks louder than reason, and still, I return. Not because I'm fearless, but because I refuse to disappear from my own life. Progress doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it looks boring. Opening the laptop when you don't want to, sending one message, taking one small step no one will ever applaud. Some nights I still wonder if it's worth it. Some mornings I wake up tired before the day even begins. But quitting no longer feels like relief. It feels like silence. And silence is what I fear most. A quiet life where nothing was risked, where potential stayed theoretical, where I never tested the limits of who I could be. If you're reading this while doubting yourself, know this: you're not weak, you're not broken. You're standing in the middle of a process that rarely gets talked about honestly. Many people walk this road quietly, without applause, without certainty, without guarantees. Most never post about it. Most never receive validation, and still they continue. This is the story of someone who walked without light, worked without faith, lived without guarantees, and still kept going. I didn't give up. And if you're on this path too, I wish you strength, patience, and courage to keep striving forward, no matter how long it takes. To be continued.
I am 40 years old. My last job was as a manager at an aviation company. I was responsible for people, decisions, processes. I knew my value and my place. Today, my life looks very different. We live in another country, not by choice but by circumstances. This move was not about dreams or adventure. It was about survival and responsibility. Here, I work a low-skilled job, not because I lack experience or intelligence, but because I need to pay rent and buy food. Some days I count money carefully, deciding what can wait and what cannot. I don't have enough to buy everything my family needs. That reality is heavy, even when I don't say it out loud. I have a wife I have loved for many years, and we have a wonderful daughter who is 5 years old. They are my home, they are my reason, they are my strength. They don't know how hard it is sometimes to stay motivated. They don't see the doubts that come at night. I smile every day so they can feel safe. My family is my source of inspiration, but also my greatest responsibility. I don't allow myself to break in front of them. I carry the weight quietly. I tell myself that this chapter does not define the whole story, that this is not the end of who I am, only a difficult middle. Every story I write is not just another story about something abstract. It is a real fight for my future, for dignity, for stability, for the chance to one day give my family more than survival. Writing is where I tell the truth I hide during the day. This is the story of a man who lost status, comfort, and certainty, but not his values, not his love, not his will to move forward. I don't know how long this road will be, but I know why I'm walking it, and that is enough to keep going. If this story resonated with you, stay here. Subscribe to this channel, the next part is coming. A story I won't share anywhere else. Thank you for reading. Until next time.